All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Parasyte the Maxim, Episode 6. Oh, we've been stabbed.
It's problematic a little bit.
And it looks like it could be fatal.
Could be fatal.
Yeah.
He does not want Migi to attack his not mom, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shinichi is
in
in
trouble?
dire straits, basically.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of situation where even if he somehow survives the encounter by like killing her, he might bleed out just from the fact that he's been stabbed in the chest.
And either way, even if he were to survive that, he will be forever changed as a person.
Yep. Exactly.
So,
because on some level, he will blame himself for his mom's death.
Sure. Yeah.
And just the knowledge that out there probably his dad is dead as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And that he was the one who agreed to say, yes.
Yep.
Go somewhere else. Oh, boy.
Based on Migi's recommendation.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Shall we begin?
Shall we begin? All right. Wow.
Okay. Well,
it moved things along quite quickly.
Very quickly.
Quite quickly.
That was I did not expect this. I did not expect this at all.
They got the mom out of the situation rather quickly.
But the problem is not resolved. You know, it's still something that needs to be addressed. But
Shinichi is okay.
Shinichi's okay.
In fact, he got upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
He's more than okay.
Migi and Shinichi are even more intertwined.
Yes, that's the big thing.
If there was a possibility of Migi being able to transfer hosts before, there's certainly isn't now.
Yeah, I would say it's dramatically lessened to the point where, in some ways, they're probably going to end up better together this way because they gradually move things along. There's also some very cool things that they could end up exploring there with the idea of once certain amounts of Shinichi have been replaced or maybe altered enough.
What's the difference?
What's the difference between him and you know, or how different is
Parasyte in the shell right up in here?
Yeah, seriously.
Although, did Parasyte come out before Ghost in the Shell? That's actually a good point.
I don't know. Probably.
Because I think the movie for Ghost in the Shell came out in 95?
Yeah,
or maybe it was earlier.
Manga was like 89.
Oh, yeah. Manga
Parasyte.
is... right.
Parasyte, I believe, is 89.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
But, oh boy. And this is a fantastic way to utilize the confrontation with the mom. I thought it was going to be a more basic, will he be able to kill her? And it's like, no, of course he's not, right?
Yeah.
Because that'd be ridiculous to just ask someone to do, in the spur of the moment. Maybe with premeditated stuff and having her stab him and whatnot, sure.
Yep.
But then having her stab him, no, that's the way to segue into the next segment of this metamorphosis that Migi and Shinichi are going through.
Yep.
And the idea of of course, it's just right through the heart because it's, you have squishy internal organs and these parasites are smart and know how to just, you're dead. You're dead. Yeah. Oh boy. Wow.
I gotta say, I was so unnerved by the idea that he looked so much different.
Oh yeah.
And the idea that the anime kind of kept me guessing on that until he had that good rest in the motel or the inn.
Yeah.
And then once that was done, he looked normal again.
But it's still some great foreshadowing, not just of the idea of the fact that he's going to grow up and stuff, but the idea that the struggles that he's going to have to deal with will get a lot more serious and it's going to take a toll.
Yeah.
Right? And there will probably come a point where that more haggard look, it might not be from sleep deprivation. It might just be from just living. Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. So the father is alive. Not a parasite. Not any kind of shenanigans there. But actually, teetering on the edge of insanity because he's starting to believe that he actually hallucinated that whole thing.
Because isn't that the more sane thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just, that hurts because on some level, I think he's protecting his kid. In fact, primarily he's protecting his kid.
And it might not even be conscious. It's probably just subconscious, it's okay, there's this crazy thing that can't actually be true,
I think it's totally conscious. The fact that the kid is bringing it up, and he's like, Shinichi, stop it! I'm trying to stuff this down. I'm trying to... He's trying to wrestle with it in his own mind consciously, but when Shinichi brings it up, it brings the conflict back up.
Well, one of the things that I like about how they handled this here is that because the dad told Shinichi something, he's now thinking, all this stuff that Shinichi is saying is based on the stuff that I told him that was in a delirious state, right? Therefore, you should just drop it, right? Because of course it'd be crazy to think about, and what, and you think your dad's dead, but okay, he's not, but then, mom's missing and whatnot. Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Shinichi hasn't told him that, no, there's all this other information that I have.
Which is clever writing because in some ways the miscommunication aspect of this
is necessary in a way.
Well, yes, it's necessary, but it also leads to this conclusion rather smoothly. Whereas it doesn't feel like there was some kind of logic leap that needed to be made in order for this miscommunication kind of drama to be had at all.
Exactly. It doesn't make things just more difficult for the story, other than the fact that he now has to protect his dad, but that's kind of what it would have had to be anyway.
Exactly.
So it kind of keeps it simpler. And so oh boy, now we have what we have, and he's going after the one that he thinks killed his mom,
but all he knows is that it's just another one of them.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's the same one.
And now he might just end up predating on the other race, and then there's and then maybe Migi will end up having some concerns about that and being like, okay, sure, but before it was always self-defense, now it's not.
Now it's something else,
right? And you're kind of putting my life on the line by doing this, if it ends up becoming something where he's like, I have to kill all of them so I can find the one that is my mom, because they're all bad anyways, because they all kill people and whatnot.
It's like, wait, Shinichi, what am I?
Right.
In this whole thing?
Then? And granted, Migi hasn't been killing people, or he's, okay. Well, here's the thing. From Shinichi's perspective, completely understandable. From Migi's perspective, well, humans and parasites, why would he have a moral qualm with killing one and not the other? Or if he doesn't have a moral qualm with killing one, why should he have a moral qualm about killing the other?
Definitely.
So yep.
So we are headed to some very dark places, y'all.
It's going to be interesting
because this story upgraded its upgrade on the darkometer essentially last episode, and was just like, he breaks.
Yep.
Like any sane person would.
Right, exactly.
When you see that, no.
Yeah.
In some ways, I gotta say, the ability for the dad to crawl his way over to the telephone.
That's the most ridiculous part.
That's some badassery. Like,
oh yeah,
he's like, I care about my son. Like the love for my son.
And
it's not even me to.
And it's not even like he was pulled out of the ocean. Like I'm pretty sure he dragged himself out of the ocean. Okay, so think about this. He got all badly wounded and stuff. Or maybe he just fell into the ocean. I can't remember. No, he got wounded, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The
main thing is that he got his way there while wounded.
Right. Yeah. Because getting dashed on the rocks, that would be a very real danger. While wounded, that'd be even worse.
So we now have the drama situation where we've got him. Shinichi in a new environment.
Situation, yep.
We have Maki introduced, who is kind of a sweet girl who's just like, hey, I'm from this this small town, this other city, and there's a stranger that comes in, and he's kind of attractive. He's kind of got this far off gaze, and there's a mystery about him.
It's the herding puppy thing.
Yeah,
and then but then it's like, oh wait, no, there's this.
Something else. And there's the possibility that if this encounter with another parasite ends up escalating or being drawn out time-wise into a point where Maki could then see this from far off.
Or even just the aftermath.
Even just the aftermath. If she doesn't get the context of the parasite it'll still look like this disturbed guy came to their town
and violently tore someone to pieces,
killed someone.
Yeah.
So there's some very dark, disturbing, interesting places this could go.
And this is one of the things that I love here because the whole idea of if you have parents that die, right? Mom with the side ponytail, whatever, and suddenly they're gone, right? That's something that should disturb you, right? And especially in this situation where it's something that's recent, right? The idea of how does that change Shinichi as a person, because it very much should. Not just the fact that he has been biologically changing because of Migi, but now this happens, and, this recourse that comes to mind, while from his perspective, totally justified, and in many ways, I would say it is justified.
Sure.
But is it going to look justified to all the other people that don't have the context? And how would you explain it? And, it's like, oh boy, this is, yeah.
Yeah, we're in a new chapter of the story. And Shinichi is a different person. And this is probably the thing that excites me the most about the story going on for a good chunk of time, with it being a two-core kind of setup.
Yeah.
At least, I believe it's a two-core setup.
It's two-core.
Yeah. Is that Shinichi is actually going to change a lot.
I mean, he already has. But...
I think we literally mentioned that in the last episode's discussion, that because he started off so kind of simple as a protagonist,
right?
That's the contrast of where he's going to end up. And already we're seeing the fruit, or maybe the seeds planted for specific different kinds of growth to happen,
because
that aren't
a lot of times when people talk about stories, and we've done this too, we'll talk about the idea of the self-insert main character, right? And the thing is that usually it has this negative connotation now because of obvious bad examples. But the idea of the self-insert protagonist, the blank slate, right, is actually potentially a very good thing, because you're basically saying, hey, take a normal person, right, and now I've got this blank slate. Now we can draw in here with whatever we want, and it makes a crystal clear picture, because that's kind of all you're going with. And then you get to maybe see the more inner workings of the person as they respond to all this stuff that they have to respond to, and they change, right?
A level 0 D&D character.
Yep, exactly, right? And then you watch them go, and here. That is what Shinichi is, and in the best way, because all the horrible stuff that is happening to him and all the crazy stuff that's happening around him, it is definitely causing him to change in a literal and figurative sense, or in a physical and mental, psychological,
all of the
emotional,
above.
All of that.
And the fact that is actually changing him, whereas most stories would have them kind of, I would say, be tethered to a central point, and they'd bounce back and forth.
Right, and it's sort of like
towards it.
And that can be a very, very human thing to do too, because you got to go back to whatever foundation you have. But here, no, we're about
ripping out
the foundation, right? Yeah. So, oh boy.
So do you like my theory about the Migi was going to say that he's also changing on a physiological level? Not just with regards to the
things, but mental state kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would say basically personality.
Yes, totally. Yep. Because our brain is the biggest drug dealer, and
nice, yeah,
and that's
it is
So the biological functions of our body very much help dictate our thoughts, feelings, perceptions, all of that stuff. So the fact that they are fusing at this much more integral or deep level, it makes sense that Shinichi would change on that level too.
Right. The other thing that might be kind of interesting here is that I thought, and I think you thought it too, was that Migi was going to reveal his weakness as being regarding to emotions or feelings.
Yeah,
or
but instead it's a more concrete thing.
Yeah.
4 hours of
downtime,
deep sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's curious about this is that that's a human function. If you think about it, we have just sleep where we have downtime.
Right.
There's no ping sensor thing that we have.
And we can be woken up from that, but it takes something very deliberate. Yeah.
But that's in a way what exactly the deepest part of sleep is. It's REM sleep. You almost can't wake up fully from it without some kind of violent, wake up thing.
Right, alarm blaring or something like that.
And I would say in a lot of ways, Migi probably could wake up with a violent thing, but in their situation, a violent thing like that and them waking up because of that means they're already dead.
Right, or I mean, maybe Shinichi could eventually
I know exactly what you're referencing. Yeah.
But
that's a good one.
But
classic.
Yeah. Okay. The place that you want to go to. Yeah.
Like I can kiss my furry little butt.
Exactly.
yeah.
But oh boy.
So the reason why I think that the feelings thing might also be a part of it is that Migi might have also been saying that your emotions, what you are bringing, into this whole situation here, I do sense that, but it does also maybe affect me a little bit. And that might not be now, but that might be an eventuality that we're just kind of tapping into because it makes sense of it being a thing at some point to happen as Shinichi becomes more or less and less human in the stereotypical sense. Migi could become more and more human in the context of also that he was trying to extend an olive branch of trust to Shinichi by saying, hey, by me telling you this weakness, I'm kind of trying to let you know that I don't consider you an enemy anymore.
Right.
It's not, are we, what is the Japanese, like Tamagotchi or something like that? The friends, what for friends in...
oh, no, Nakama.
The Nakama is like the next level friends.
No, I'm pretty sure it's actually just friends.
No, I'm pretty sure it's actually like... Anyway, I don't know. I'm pretty sure
it's Fort Fight.
Right. But there's... I don't know. I think there's going to be a progression with that, and then that will slowly compound and over the course of time.
And I love how they're dealing with the whole idea of Shinichi changing because and what's bringing it about because it's something that feels a lot more like as strange as it is to say like scientifically valid, even though that if they go into the stuff with Migi changing like they're probably going to and they haven't actually gone into the whole thing of like, okay, like the your brain just souping you up on all the different, endorphins and hormones and chemicals and, and whatnot that make you who you are. They probably won't go into that same level of detail for Migi because then they'd have to explain the science of parasites. But, oh man, I really like how they're handling this.
Yeah. One of the things that we mentioned the whole Ghost in the Shell thing of, if you replace enough of the internal stuff, what makes someone human? But is there really kind of like a point that they're putting up with this as well, that the heart was just replaced?
Oh, sure.
And right after that, now he's got this remember how he couldn't cry? Remember he's like the sadness.
And he was clutching his chest.
Heart.
Yeah.
But he's like, but no, I can't find the tears.
Yeah.
It's almost as if in some ways he's become heartless a little bit. Like there's some aspect of what that means that Migi can't actually replace perfectly.
Well, remember what Tamiya said their directive was? Destroy this species. I mean,
oh sure. It doesn't have to be a thing where they're all end up dead.
Well, it doesn't have to be a thing where the species, since it's this species, it doesn't have to be talking about humans. Now, I don't think they do something like that because that seemed to be a very conscious, like telepathic blast almost that was sent out. So Shinichi wouldn't have that,
right?
But this seems very much like a predatory aspect where it's like I'm now on the hunt.
Yes, and I think they're going to thematically bring that up.
Even more than they already have.
Well, I would say also in the immediate sense with the conversation they'll probably have with this parasite.
Yeah.
And
or potentially...
And put it into the underdog situation.
Well, and potentially, what was her name? Maki? Or
Maki, yeah.
Maki? Yeah, if she sees what happens. Which would be a problem.
Because it might just look like he's trying to kill this guy, and she doesn't see any of the parasite stuff. So then she has to kind of like talk him down.
Sure, or post, and it's all it's all tucked away again, but there's still this messed up body. Yeah. Oh boy.
And then also the actions of Shinichi potentially tying back to the father and consequences going there. So Shinichi needs to be careful. That
I am very glad that they didn't do the bullshit thing though of we think you killed your wife kind of a thing. It's like that would have been a little bit like, okay,
Well, I think that if they didn't have any evidence that the mother was dead, but she didn't come back to the hotel or anything like that. I totally think they would have brought that up.
Sure, yeah, but it would
have made sense to.
Oh yeah, but a difference between like bringing it up and being like, well, clearly in this situation, like,
Well, obviously they're cops though. They can't leave anything off the table.
No. I know.
They just go with what makes the most logical sense.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah. And if the person's talking about some crazy monster that killed her,
it makes more sense that they're crazy to a sane human cop. Like, okay, cool, buddy. We've seen this happen a lot. You had a stressful thing from your fall or what have you.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was a fantastic episode. I was surprised by so much of it because so early on they deviated from what I kind of expected. And
we called Migi the doctor though. We called Migi Migi's in the house.
And Migi did stop it up, but Migi went for the more permanent solution.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us or a community about these stories, about anime in general, get involved in community events there, or talk with Jake about his book he just published.
That's right. My sci-fi novel Battle Lines is still available for order on Amazon. Link in the description. So there you go.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.